Hi everyone, welcome back to BookSmart Insights, a channel sharing knowledge for personal development through good books. My friends, have you ever paused amidst the hustle and bustle of life, maybe late one evening after a long day at work, or during a quiet weekend morning, and asked yourself, what is my real dream? What truly makes my heart beat faster with longing? When you were in your vibrant 20s, that question echoed loudly. We looked out at the vast world with so much to explore and so many peaks to conquer. Then maybe, as we stepped into our mid-20s, we questioned ourselves again. Have I truly lived fully for that dream? Is the path I'm on the one my heart truly desires? And then it's entirely possible, isn't it, that at 30, 35, or even later, another worry creeps in. If that dream I've held on to for so long is still unfinished, is it too late to start over? We often hear about motivation, needing goals, and trying harder. But have you ever stopped to wonder where this motivation really comes from? Is it external pressures, societal expectations, or shiny material rewards? Or is it a quiet flame burning deep within each of us? A compelling call that sometimes even we haven't fully recognized. In the quest for answers to these profound questions, there's a book that has become a guiding light for millions of lost hearts around the globe. A book that isn't thick, just over 200 pages, easily read in a few hours, yet its weight and depth can change a life. Yes, today, BookSmart Insights wants to chat with you about a timeless classic, a simple yet enchanting fable, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and explore together where does true motivation really comes from. First, let's talk about the extraordinary impact of The Alchemist. Published over 3 decades ago, this book has been translated into 81 languages and has captivated readers in over 170 countries. Even in the author's home country of Brazil, its popularity is playfully compared to that of God and football, two of the nation's most significant cultural icons. What makes a seemingly simple story about a shepherd boy resonate so powerfully? The reason is that as we turn each page, we can see a reflection of ourselves somewhere within its narrative, regardless of age or circumstance. The story follows Santiago, an ordinary shepherd boy in Spain. He has a recurring, peculiar dream about a treasure buried at the distant Egyptian pyramids. Instead of dismissing this dream as mere fantasy, Santiago does something few would dare. He sells his entire flock of sheep, his only possession, to follow the call of his destiny. Santiago's journey is no leisurely stroll. He must cross the vast Sahara Desert, facing countless hardships, challenges, dangers, and even the temptation to give up. But it's precisely on this arduous path that he meets extraordinary people and learns invaluable lessons about life, love, the language of the universe, and, most importantly, himself. This isn't just a fable about pursuing material treasure. On a deeper level, it's a journey to find the spiritual treasure within, hidden within each person, the discovery and fulfillment of one's personal legend, or in other words, living a life true to what your heart genuinely desires. Santiago's story begins with a brave choice. He was born into an ordinary family, and his parents pinned all their hopes on him becoming a priest, a stable, respected path, and a source of family pride. It was a safe prospect, a pre-drawn future. But deep down, Santiago yearned for something different. He dreamt of traveling, of exploring the vast world out there. Imagine a young man standing before his father, expressing a desire that contradicts the family's expectations. That must have been a moment requiring immense courage. Though initially vehemently opposed, his father eventually accepted his son's determination. He gave Santiago 3 gold coins, not just as material aid, but as an acknowledgement, a silent blessing for his thirst for freedom. Interestingly, in his youth, that very father had also harbored dreams of traveling the world. Perhaps in Santiago's decision, he saw a reflection of his younger self, a dream that had faded under the weight of life's practicalities. This immediately raises a core question. How many of us dare to listen and act upon that deep inner calling instead of following the safe, worn paths laid out by society or family? In The Alchemist, Santiago isn't the only one with a dream. We meet the popcorn seller who dreams of visiting Africa, the crystal merchant who always wanted to make a pilgrimage to Mecca, and even the desert robbers who share a dream of finding treasure, just like Santiago. But what's the difference? Most of them are stuck. They are held back by fear, calculations of gain and loss, and the pressures of daily life. They fear losing what they have, even if it's just temporary stability. They choose to put their dreams aside, only to live daily in quiet regret. This calculation of gain and loss is the most subtle trap preventing us from pursuing our passions. We fear failure, loss, and uncertainty. We convince ourselves that this is good enough. Be realistic. Stop daydreaming. But it's precisely this calculation that dims our most authentic desires, making us forget what truly makes life worth living. Santiago broke free from that cycle. He dared to give up the predetermined path of priesthood, sell his familiar flock to become a nomad, and later leave the shepherd's life free yet familiar to chase an even vaguer dream, the treasure in Egypt. He stepped out of his comfort zone twice and multiple times. While Santiago lived his seemingly peaceful life as a shepherd, a recurring dream about treasure stirred him. It was like a signal, a reminder from the universe. Then, he met a mysterious older man who called himself the King of Salem. This old man told Santiago something significant. That dream was his personal legend. And personal legend, according to the king, is what you have always wanted to accomplish. This statement was like a key unlocking a door in Santiago's awareness. It resonated perfectly with his deepest longing, the desire to explore the world. The treasure in Egypt wasn't just about gold and jewels. It symbolized the journey of finding and fulfilling the most incredible dream of his life. Once again, Santiago faced a choice. His current life with the sheep was real, familiar, something he understood and controlled. Chasing the treasure was vague and risky, demanding he give up everything he possessed. He hesitated. He almost let fear and calculation win, just like so many others. But the King of Salem's words about personal legend in another promise echoed even louder. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. This is one of the most central and beautiful messages of The Alchemist. It doesn't mean everything will magically fall into place easily. It means that when you truly commit and dedicate yourself to your dream with all your heart and mind, you'll start noticing signs, opportunities, and unexpected help appearing on your path. You become more attuned to the language of the universe, to the silent whispers guiding you forward. This belief in his personal legend and the universe's conspiracy to help gave Santiago strength. He decided to sell his sheep, again embarking on an uncertain journey. Of course, the universe conspiring doesn't mean it rolls out a red carpet for you. On the contrary, the path to pursuing dreams is always fraught with thorns, challenges, and even failures that seem impossible to recover from. Santiago experienced this firsthand as soon as he set foot in Africa. He was tricked from all the money he'd saved from selling his sheep. Just yesterday, filled with excitement for the future, today he was penniless, alone in a strange city, unable to speak the language and with no one to turn to. It was a massive blow, a harsh strike against the young man's faith and hope. He despaired, felt bitter, and thought back to his sheep and the safe life he'd left behind. At that moment, anyone could have crumbled and turned back. But in his darkest hour, the King of Salem's words echoed in his mind again. When you want something. Those words acted like a spiritual remedy, reviving the courage and confidence that had nearly shattered. Instead of drowning in despair, Santiago decided to act. He had nothing to lose, so he would do anything to survive and seek opportunities. He found work at a crystal shop that was struggling with poor sales. Initially, the job was just about getting by day to day. The dream of reaching Egypt seemed incredibly distant. He needed to cross thousands of kilometers of the desert. How could working a few days in this shop provide enough money? This phase tests perseverance most severely, when you put in tremendous effort, but seem no closer to your goal. Santiago felt the heartache. He had moments of wanting to give up. But instead of abandoning everything, he chose to temporarily set aside thoughts of the distant destination and focus on the task at hand. He didn't just work hard. He proactively devised creative ideas to improve the shop's business, cleaning the crystals until they sparkled, suggesting they sell tea in crystal glasses to attract passers-by. These tireless efforts yielded results. The shop became busier, and after a year, Santiago earned enough money to return home and buy an even larger flock than before, and learned Arabic and valuable business skills. What's the lesson here? When facing seemingly insurmountable difficulties, sometimes we need to be flexible, know how to adapt, and concentrate on what we can do right now. Obstacles aren't necessarily the end of the dream. They might be a detour, an opportunity for us to learn, hone new skills, and become stronger. The skills and experiences gained during these challenging times can become invaluable assets for the next leg of the journey. For someone with a burning personal legend in their heart, difficulties aren't punishment. They are a necessary part of the tempering process. After a year of hard work, Santiago had enough money, even more than he started with. He found himself at another crucial crossroads. He could quickly return to Spain, buy a massive flock of sheep, and live a prosperous life. It was a logical, safe, and understandable choice. The crystal merchant, who also had a dream of going to Mecca but never dared to pursue it, advised him to do just that. But in Santiago's ears, the King of Salem's words echoed again. You must always remember what you want. His original goal wasn't to become a richer shepherd, but to reach the pyramids in Egypt and discover his personal legend. And Santiago made another brave decision. He let go of the money he had earned, let go of the prospect of wealth right before him, and continued his journey across the desert. But the temptations didn't end there. Along the way, in a beautiful oasis in the middle of the desert, Santiago met Fatima, the woman of the desert. Love blossomed instantly between them. It was a lovely and intense love that Santiago considered abandoning his dream of treasure altogether to stay in the oasis, living happily ever after with the woman he loved. This was the sweetest and most irresistible temptation. Who wouldn't want to stop when they find love and a peaceful home? However, Fatima herself, and later his encounter with the true alchemist in the oasis, helped Santiago realize something crucial. Giving up his dream for love, however noble it might seem, would ultimately lead to deep regret for both of them. A man who hasn't fulfilled his personal legend cannot bring happiness to the woman he loves. True love doesn't hold back. It encourages the loved one to continue pursuing their path. Once again, Santiago had to learn the art of letting go of comfort, immediate pleasure, and even the vision of happiness that seemed within reach, all to stay true to his ultimate goal. The writer Jia Pinghua once said, "Those who truly live must know how to let go. Only by being willing to let go can one gain. Those who achieve great things often dare to sacrifice short-term benefits to pursue a long-term vision, a more profound aspiration. The final stretch to the pyramids was where Santiago faced his most daunting, most symbolic challenges. He and the alchemist were captured by a warring tribal faction. All his gold was taken. Worse still, he was put in a life-or-death situation. He had to turn himself into the wind within 3 days, or both would be killed. Turn into the wind? That's impossible. But facing death, Santiago had no choice but to push beyond his own limits. He didn't rely on physical strength, but on love and a deep connection with the world around him. He spoke with the desert, the wind, the sun, and finally the soul of the world. He realized that everything in the universe has a soul and is connected by a common language, love, and life. By merging himself into that great flow, by understanding and connecting, Santiago achieved the impossible. He transformed into the wind, saving himself and his companion. This is a stunning metaphor for the hidden power within each human being when we truly connect with our deepest selves and the world around us. When faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, sometimes the solution lies not in struggling against them, but in understanding, acceptance, and immersion. Finally, Santiago reached the foot of the pyramids, but ironically, as he dug where his dream had indicated, he found no treasure. Instead, he was attacked by robbers, brutally beaten, and stripped of the last bit of gold he had. It seemed as though all his efforts, all his sacrifices, had been for nothing. But an unexpected truth was revealed in that darkest, most painful moment. Upon hearing Santiago's story about his dream of treasure, the robbers' leader laughed mockingly. He said that he had had a recurring dream, but he was about a treasure buried beneath a sycamore tree in the ruins of an abandoned church in Spain, the very place where Santiago had begun his journey. And so, the real treasure wasn't in distant Egypt after all, but right back in his homeland, where he started. Hearing this, you might think, so was that long journey meaningless? What a waste of time and effort. But no, Paulo Coelho intended a much deeper message. The physical treasure lay at the starting point, but he would never have known if Santiago hadn't undertaken that arduous journey. The journey itself was more valuable than gold and silver crossing the sea, traversing the desert, facing challenges, learning, loving, and growing, which was the priceless treasure Santiago found. He learned the language of sheep, Arabic, the language of the desert, and ultimately the language of the universe. He learned business skills, survival skills, how to love, how to listen to his heart, and how to connect with all things. He met teachers, friends, and true love. He transformed from an innocent shepherd boy into a mature man who understood himself and the world. All those experiences enriched his soul and shaped who he became. That was the true meaning of pursuing his personal legend. Even if there had been no physical treasure at the end of the road, Santiago's life would have been exciting and worthwhile. As the philosopher Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." When you have a purpose, a dream big enough to pursue, the difficulties and hardships along the way cease to be burdens and become necessary trials that test your resolve and allow you to discover your limits. Author Paulo Coelho confessed, "It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting." Whether successful or not, the process of striving towards a dream holds joy and happiness. Every step taken, every lesson learned, and every growth is a precious reward. You will undoubtedly become a better version of yourself through that journey. So let's return to the initial question. Where does true motivation come from? Through Santiago's story and the profound insights in The Alchemist, we can clearly see that true motivation doesn't stem from external factors. It must originate from the inner simmering, the burning desire within your soul. It comes from recognizing and daring to pursue your personal legend, daring to live a life aligned with your core values and deepest desires. It's the fire that urges you to wake up each morning, the compass that guides you through the darkest nights, and the strength that helps you get back up after every fall. When you do what you genuinely love and believe is your reason for being, you will find an enduring source of energy, an incredible persistence that no external circumstance can quickly extinguish. My dear friends at BookSmart Insights, Santiago's journey in The Alchemist is a powerful reminder for all of us. Never give up on the dream within your heart. No matter how demanding reality gets or how many challenges arise, keep the flame of your aspirations warm in the deepest part of your heart. No one can stop you from living the life you desire except yourself. Don't let fear, doubt, or gain and loss calculations hold you back. Believe that all genuine motivation must come from that inner fire within you. Listen to your heart's call. When it speaks, be brave enough to take the first step. Believe that there is no tomorrow you cannot reach. The rest of our lives, whether long or short, deserve to be lived fully and meaningfully. May we all find the courage to face the true desires of our hearts, bravely move towards our dreams, take responsibility for our own lives, and make them shine in our own unique way. The journey of self-discovery through books is endless and fascinating. The Alchemist is just one of many torches on that path. If you haven't read it yet, please pick it up. And if you have, I hope today's conversation has offered you fresh perspectives and inspiration. Thank you for spending your time with BookSmart Insights today. If you found these insights helpful, please share this video with friends who might need to hear it. And of course, if you enjoy content about personal development through books like this, please support the channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell. This helps you stay updated with new videos released, and it's also a massive source of encouragement for me to continue creating quality content. What are your thoughts or feelings after hearing about The Alchemist and the quest for motivation? Please share them in the comments section below this video on YouTube. I look forward to reading and discussing them with you. Once again, thank you for being here. Goodbye, and I look forward to seeing you in the following video of BookSmart Insights. May you always find the motivation and courage to pursue your dreams.